Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Nick Gray, and I'm in Berlin for IFA 2025 doing another smartphone camera comparison with the Pixel 10 Pro to see how it compares with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold7, which I'm using to record right now. As I do in all of these smartphone camera comparisons, everything you see in this video is recorded on these two devices, so just keep an eye on the bottom of the screen to see which device and which cameras from that device are being used for the photos and videos that you see. With that, let's get to it to see how these two devices compare in everyday use. When it comes to the camera specs on the Pixel 10 Pro, we have a triple camera system on the back of the phone with a 50 megapixel primary camera, 48 megapixel ultra wide, and then a 48 megapixel 5x periscope camera on the back. And then that selfie camera up front, that's a 42 megapixel sensor capable of capturing 4K video at 60 FPS, as can the rear cameras on the back of this phone as well. And then looking at the Galaxy Z Fold7, we do have a triple camera system on the back of this phone. A 200 megapixel primary sensor, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 10 megapixel 3x telephoto camera. And then up front, flipping things around to the selfie camera, there is a 10 megapixel camera sensor there. That can capture 4K video at 60 FPS, as can the rear cameras on the back of the phone. But of course, the real benefit with the Galaxy Z Fold7 when it comes to photo and video capture is being able to use the main cameras on the back of the phone with that cover display, being able to frame yourself perfectly for every shot.
Well, let's take a quick break to talk about Govee, our sponsor at IFA this year. They've launched a slew of new products, but the highlight for me is the Govee TV Backlight 3 Pro, which delivers a big upgrade for your TV lighting system. Sporting the industry's first HDR triple camera for more accurate color capture through its 3 high-precision sensors, it can capture HDR lighting for better reproduction of those highlights and those darker colors on your TV screen. And with this high-density 75 LEDs per meter, it's getting a 30% bump in brightness this year. And then if you are looking to add a splash of color to the outside of your house, there's the Govee Permanent Outdoor Light Prism with an all-new design. The new lighting head has 3 dynamic color zones, allowing for some truly unique lighting for the outside of your house. Allows for seamless gradients of up to 16 million different color customizations. And right out of the box, it's built so that you can cut, splice, and extend for a really easy DIY installation. And of course, it also comes with an IP68 rating. If you want more details on the Govee Permanent Outdoor Lighting Prism and the Govee TV Backlight 3 Pro, check out the video description below. And now, let's get back to our camera comparison here at IFA 2025.
And to start things off with video capture from both of these devices, we do get 4K video with the ultra wide here. Then we're going to be bumping into that main sensor, getting in a little bit closer on both the Samsung and the Pixel. But one thing to note, the Pixel does have a much better zoom here. 5x versus 3x, and Google's using a much larger sensor enabled by that periscope camera setup, giving you a much closer shot than what you get out of the Samsung.
Left to take
this here's a look at video capture from the selfie cameras on both of these devices. Just a reminder, we do have 4K video here from both of these, though if you do want to capture better video from the Samsung, you can always flip things around, use the cover display of this foldable device, and then use the ultra wide or also the main sensor on the back of the phone. So let me show you what that looks like. And here we go, the transition on the Samsung going to the ultra-wide camera on the back of the phone versus the selfie camera that we have here on the Pixel. As you can see, dynamic range is definitely a lot better there on the sensor from the ultra-wide as opposed to the selfie one with those clouds in the background. But of course, you can move over to that main sensor, bump in a little bit closer to the Samsung. And as you can see, the shallower depth of field there, it does seem a little bit darker. It's trying to compensate a little bit more for the brighter sky there on the Samsung, but the dynamic range does look a lot better on that main sensor just because it's so much larger. You can definitely do a lot more with that than you can with that tiny sensor that you have on the selfie camera, the Pixel. And another look at video capture from these two devices. Honestly, I think the Pixel does a little bit better job here with dynamic range with the ultra-wide camera, but let's see how things fare when we move in to that main sensor. Now, I didn't do this before. This is the 1X, but let's go into a digital crop on that main sensor at 2X, just to bump in a little bit closer to the subjects. And then to zoom in even further than that, 5X and 3X respectively on these two devices. Just being able to get in that much closer on the Pixel honestly makes it a lot more usable in situations like this. Well, now that it's gotten dark out, it's time for some low light photo and video samples with these two devices to see how they handle themselves when lighting conditions aren't really ideal. Let's take a look. And this is a look at video capture from the selfie cameras on both of these devices. Though one of the things I do like to point out is that the Samsung is able to use that main camera on the back of the phone with that cover display so that you can frame yourself perfectly. But even though the Pixel doesn't have the cover display, you can always flip the phone around and use that as well. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in this situation. Okay, so here we're starting off with the ultra-wide cameras on the back of both of these phones. With the Pixel, I'm just staring at the back of the phone. You can't really see what I am seeing right now or what the camera is seeing. But with the Samsung, I have the cover display giving me a perfect look at what I am capturing with this camera. But now I'm going to switch things over to that main sensor and show you just how much of a difference it is using that versus the ultra-wide. And here we go, look at the main sensor on the back of the phone. You're always gonna notice the shallower depth of field just because it's a much larger sensor and you get a better lens with that as well. With the Samsung, of course, this is easy to just frame properly just because you do have that cover display. With the Pixel, you kind of just have to guess and hope that you're framing things just right. Overall, I will say that the main sensors on the back of both of these phones are probably really comparable when it comes to capturing video. But the fact that you can use the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold7's main cameras on the back for vlogging in a situation like this, as opposed to the selfie camera on the left-hand side there with the Pixel, makes a huge difference, especially in low-light situations. So if content capture is one of your main things that you're going to be doing with a device like this, going for the Galaxy Z Fold7 is definitely something that's a little bit more versatile in capturing video in a lot of different situations. Well, that's going to do it for this camera comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold7 and the Pixel 10 Pro from Google. Let me know what you think of the results in the comments below and which device you'd rather use on a day-to-day basis for your photos and videos. And if you want to see the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra versus the Pixel 10 Pro, check out this video link right over here. You definitely don't want to miss that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.